Don't skip this. I mean it. What you're about to hear will quietly rearrange the way you read every conversation, every favor, every promise anyone has ever made to you. Once you understand what Machiavelli actually wrote down about people, there's no switch to turn it off. The patterns stay visible. The mask stays transparent. And the easy, trusting version of you doesn't come back. In 1513, a ruined diplomat sat alone in the countryside, stripped of his career, and started writing down what he had watched powerful men do to each other for decades. His conclusions were so cold and so accurate that the church kept his work on its banned list for 2 centuries. Not because he lied. Because he told the truth too plainly. Because once ordinary people understood the machinery stopped working on them. And the men who ran that machinery had every reason to keep the instructions out of your hands. Machiavelli never taught anyone to be cruel. He just described the cruelty that was already in motion. He named the manipulation that was already running. He drew a map of a game that was already being played on top of you, by people who counted on you never reading the rules. Most people live their entire lives inside that game without ever once seeing the board. They feel the moves landing on them, the friend who drifts, the partner who cools, the boss who suddenly forgets your name, and they call it bad luck, or bad people, or a bad season. It was never any of those things. It was the rules, working exactly as designed, on someone who never learned them. This touches all of it: your friendships, the person you love, the people you work beside, the family you were born into. After today, you'll catch these patterns in places you used to consider safe. And you won't be able to go back to trusting the way you trusted this morning. Final chance to leave and keep the comfortable story intact. Still here? Then let's open the part nobody wanted you to read. Pattern 1. Everyone is running a performance. Machiavelli's first buried truth: people judge you by the surface, because almost no one ever reaches what's underneath. In plain language, every single person you deal with is presenting an edited, audience-tested version of themselves. The them you think you've gotten to know is a built thing, assembled for public consumption, not the raw interior. This isn't the occasional white lie. It's a constant, automatic performance that runs below the level anyone notices. Your closest friend is performing friendship while quietly tracking their own interests. The person who loves you is performing devotion while keeping a private inventory of options and limits. Your coworkers perform teamwork while positioning for the next opening. And it isn't evil. It's just what humans learn to do. We figured out early that handing someone our unfiltered, undefended self usually gets us punished. So we built characters that earn what we want while shielding the soft parts. The cost of that protection is simple: you never fully meet anyone, and nobody ever fully meets you. Be honest about yourself for a second. You're a different person in front of your manager than you were with your friends. You show one face on a first date and another after a year together. You let family see some rooms in the house and keep others locked. That's the performance. Everyone around you is doing the identical thing. The cheerful colleague is running calculations under the cheer. The affectionate partner has hard borders under the affection. The friend who always supports you has a ceiling on that support you haven't found yet. Machiavelli watched rulers fall because they mistook a performance of loyalty for the real thing. The loyalty was theater, paid for by the advisor's interests, and the curtain dropped the moment those interests changed. Your life runs on the same script. The person performing friendship today drops the act when it stops paying. The person performing love stops when their needs move or a better offer arrives. The person performing loyalty has already done the math on when betrayal becomes the smarter play. This stings, because it means no one's presentation can be trusted at face value. But it also frees you. You can stop demanding permanent, unchanging authenticity from creatures who are built to adapt. People stay consistent while consistency pays them. When it stops paying, they shift. Not because they're monsters. Because they're human. Your defense is to see the performance clearly without going cold over it. Take what a relationship gives while it gives it, and stop treating performed promises as guarantees of forever. If this is already landing, if you can feel the floor moving a little, do one thing before you keep going. Subscribe. This channel exists for the people who'd rather understand the machinery than keep getting moved by it, who want real fluency in human psychology and the power dynamics underneath every relationship. The ones who watch and never subscribe stay readable. The ones who follow this thread get harder to play, week after week. Pick which one you want to be, then let's keep going. Pattern 2. Loyalty is rented, never owned. Machiavelli wrote the line that people quote and then conveniently forget, that men are ungrateful, changeable, false, and cowardly, that while things go well they're entirely yours, and the instant danger arrives, they turn. That's his harshest verdict on loyalty. It isn't loyal at all. It's a lease, renewed only while you keep delivering benefit and stay off the liability column. Look for it in your own history. There were people who couldn't get enough of you while you were winning, entertaining, or useful. Then your luck turned, or you got boring, or you stopped being able to hand them what they came for. And suddenly the calendar was always full. The loyalty didn't fade. It vanished the second the terms changed. This isn't a feature of bad people. It's a feature of people. Humans stay in any bond, friendship, romance, work, family, as long as the return beats the cost. When the ledger flips, most people quietly relocate their loyalty, not out of malice, just the ordinary drift of a self-interested animal. The devotion your partner shows right now is priced on you continuing to meet their needs, stay attractive to them, and keep better alternatives out of view. Move those conditions and the devotion moves with them. That sounds vicious until you audit your own behavior and notice you operate on the same exchange rate. The loyalty people give you is never really about you. It's about what flows through you to them: status, fun, comfort, money, access, connections, safety. While your value clears the cost of keeping you around, the loyalty holds. When the math turns, the loyalty turns. Machiavelli learned this watching alliances dissolve overnight the moment the situation shifted. Yesterday's sworn ally becomes today's enemy because today your downfall pays better than your survival. Private life runs the same engine. People back you while your success feeds them and disappear when your trouble threatens to cost them. Real unconditional loyalty is rare for exactly this reason. Some parents reach it with their children, and even that isn't universal. Most relationships flying the banner of unconditional loyalty are deeply conditional underneath. The conditions just haven't been stress tested yet. Apply pressure and the fine print appears. Your protection isn't trusting no one and rotting in suspicion. It's accepting that loyalty has edges and terms even when nobody says them out loud. Spread your dependence. Don't stake your whole life on one person's constancy. Be valuable to several people, so a single defection can't level you. And when someone's loyalty shifts, hold on to this: it's almost never personal. It's adaptation. They aren't villains for it. They're human. Knowing that spares you the naive devastation of believing in a forever that was always conditional. Pattern 3. The victim in the room is the one to watch. Here's where Machiavelli gets genuinely uncomfortable. He noticed that the people who looked most harmless, the wounded, the powerless, the ones forever positioned as someone's casualty, were frequently the most dangerous, precisely because their apparent weakness disarmed everyone around them. A person who openly threatens you flips on your defenses. You brace, you guard, you push back. But a person who casts themselves as your victim slides right past the guard. You feel protective instead of cautious. You drop your shoulders. You hand over access, time, money. And that's the exact moment the leverage gets used. Once you see it, it's everywhere. The coworker who plays the wounded party to dodge every consequence while quietly hoarding influence through sympathy. The partner who weaponizes fragility to steer you with guilt. The relative whose endless string of emergencies keeps everyone else's resources draining in one direction. The strategic victim accumulates real power while broadcasting helplessness. You can't criticize them without looking like a bully. You can't hold them accountable without being accused of blaming the wounded. They collect support with no obligation to return it, and they can erase a rival just by reframing that rival as an oppressor. Machiavelli saw operators climb to power by mastering the victim's posture, while the ones who looked strong became the targets everyone felt safe attacking. The same dynamic runs through offices and families. The person everyone reads as the victim carries protections that an obvious threat never gets near. Your defense is learning to tell genuine pain from strategic helplessness. Real victims move, however slowly, toward recovery. They don't use their wound as a permanent license to dodge accountability or extract without end. Strategic victims live in perpetual crisis, deploy the wound to escape responsibility, and dial the suffering up the instant a boundary appears. Watch for the person who is somehow always the innocent one in every conflict, whose victimhood reliably advances their position, who uses the claim to shut down any question. That's a weaponized wound, not an open one. The most dangerous person in your life may be the one you currently feel sorriest for. Pattern 4. Love is biology with an agenda. Machiavelli didn't write much about romance, but his read on human nature lands hard here anyway. What you experience as falling in love is a chemical event engineered to make you bond and reproduce. It's temporary. It scrambles your judgment. And it's strategic at the root, not transcendent. That overwhelming feeling has a shelf life, somewhere between 6 months and a few years. Your brain physically can't sustain the state any longer than that. It's too metabolically expensive and it would wreck your ability to function. Evolution tuned it to burn hot enough to glue two people together and brief enough not to ruin the rest of your life. Which means every decision you make inside that feeling, including who you marry, is being made under a temporary chemical haze that specifically distorts your judgment about the one question you're using it to answer. You're wagering your future on emotions guaranteed to change, with a mind those emotions have compromised. When the chemistry levels off, you're left standing next to whoever you picked while impaired, trying to work out whether you're actually compatible for the decades of partnership that contain almost no fireworks at all. Most people discover they aren't, which is roughly why first marriages dissolve close to half the time and the odds get worse on the next attempt. The person you currently can't imagine living without is, in mechanical terms, a dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin event-producing temporary obsession. In a year or two, once those levels normalize, they'll look ordinary, and the relationship will rest on real compatibility instead of chemical intoxication. Machiavelli would have recognized this instantly, humans steered by biological imperatives and mistaking the steering for destiny. You believe you're choosing based on a profound connection. You're actually obeying ancient programming designed to pass on genes with zero concern for your long-term happiness. Your protection is admitting that romantic feeling is the worst possible instrument for selecting a life partner, because it's brief and it blinds you. Evaluate people for the things that survive the chemistry, shared values around money, lined up life goals, the way they handle conflict, compatible daily rhythms. Build on partnership that can run for decades, chosen with a clear head, not on a feeling that's scheduled to fade no matter what you do. Pattern 5. Every relationship is a power negotiation. This is Machiavelli's deepest claim: all human contact is a negotiation over who holds what power. Every relationship runs a constant, mostly silent argument about who controls the resources, who sets the terms, whose boundaries get honored. The argument never ends, because the balance never stops moving. Watch any bond and it surfaces. Who owns the schedule? Whose preference wins by default? Whose boundaries actually hold? Who gets the final word on the big calls? Who controls the money? Those questions get answered through thousands of tiny interactions, and the answers harden into a power distribution. Most people are blind to the negotiation, which means they're quietly losing it to whoever isn't. You think you're just being flexible by moving your plans again. You're actually teaching them that their preferences override yours. You think you're being generous by always covering the bill. You're actually building a dependence that tilts the floor. Every accommodation, every let it slide, every compromise sets precedent. Whoever learns they can step over your boundary learns they hold power over you. Whoever learns you'll always bend learns they run the relationship. Whoever learns they can take without giving learns they're the favored side of an unfair trade. And once these arrangements set, they're brutally hard to renegotiate. The person who's learned they can cancel on you at the last second won't graciously accept your new firmness. The person who's learned they can treat you carelessly won't welcome your sudden demand for respect. You train them, through every past accommodation, to read your limits as optional. Machiavelli watched rulers who failed to hold their ground get quietly captured by the very people they believed they commanded. Your relationships behave the same. If you're not consciously drawing and defending boundaries, you're unconsciously handing power to others who may or may not use it kindly. Your protection is to see that every interaction is a negotiation whether you admit it or not. Set boundaries early. Enforce them every time. Notice when someone is testing a line and answer firmly. Keep the exchange of resources roughly even. Don't accommodate so endlessly that you teach the world you have no limit. Conscious negotiation is the only thing standing between you and an unconscious surrender. Pattern 6. Your beliefs were installed by other people's interests. Machiavelli understood that the smartest rulers controlled what their subjects believed, not just what they did. Govern the belief and the behavior follows on its own. That principle runs today with a sophistication that would stun him, but it follows the rules he laid out exactly. Most of what you hold about politics, right and wrong, success, love, and happiness wasn't reasoned out by you in some quiet room. It was installed by people and institutions whose interests those beliefs happen to serve. Your values feel like yours because the installation was gentle enough to never trip the alarm. This isn't a conspiracy fantasy. It's ordinary social engineering, visible the moment you learn the shape of it. Media frames shape political opinion along lines that serve particular interests. Schooling instills the values that produce dependable workers and consumers. Social norms quietly enforce the behaviors that keep existing structures standing. Advertising manufactures the wants that keep the economy turning. You believe you reason your way to certain conclusions. You were actually walked toward them by carefully built narratives, arriving exactly where you were meant to. Watch it happen live. An issue breaks. Within days you've absorbed dozens of takes, all somehow pointing the same direction, all pretending to be independent. The consensus feels organic but was assembled. You adopt a position that feels like your own clear judgment and is really the product of successful narrative management. Machiavelli would know it on sight, the same old principle of governing through belief, now perfected with saturation, social pressure, and feeds tuned to show you mostly what reinforces what you already think. Your protection is to accept that your beliefs were shaped by interests, and then to go looking for whose. Be suspicious of any belief that conveniently benefits the powerful. Seek out sources that aren't algorithmically curated to flatter you. Treat consensus as a possible product of management rather than automatic proof of truth. This doesn't mean spiraling into paranoia or believing nothing. It means holding your beliefs more loosely, knowing how they got there, and staying willing to drop them when you trace the wire back to someone else's pocket. Living with what you now know. You can't unsee any of it now. Everyone performs. Loyalty is rented. The victim may be the predator. Love is temporary chemistry. Every exchange negotiates power. Your beliefs were handed to you by people who benefited. This knowledge is dangerous because it tears down the comforting illusions that make ordinary life feel warm. You won't trust the old way again. You won't believe in unconditional loyalty. You won't take anyone's surface as their substance. You won't bet your future on a feeling. You won't drift into surrendering power. You won't accept your own convictions as simply, obviously true. Living with this means rebuilding on honest ground. Accept the performance and enjoy it without mistaking it for full disclosure. Build bonds on mutual benefit that genuinely serves both sides instead of waiting for a loyalty that never comes unconditional. Judge people by their patterns over time, not by the wound they hold up. Make the big choices with a clear head, not inside the chemical fog. Negotiate power on purpose instead of giving it away by accident. Audit your beliefs for whose interests they serve and revise without shame. This isn't turning cynical. It's turning strategic and protected. Machiavelli didn't write to make people cruel. He wrote to keep decent people from being destroyed by those who already understood all of this and used it without a flicker of conscience. The people who rise in any room usually already know. They know everyone performs. They exploit rented loyalty. They wield the victim's posture when it's useful. They never let a feeling decide something important. They negotiate power deliberately, and they shape what others believe. Your only choice is whether to stay naive and be steered, or understand the machinery and steer with your eyes open. Innocence has never protected anyone from manipulation. It only guarantees you'll be manipulated by someone who sees what you refuse to. That choice is the whole reason this channel exists. Every video here is another piece of the same map, the psychology, the power dynamics, the moves people make on you before you've even noticed the game started. If you want to be the one reading the room instead of the one being read, subscribe and stay. The people who keep watching get sharper, calmer, and far harder to move. Make the strong choice now, then let me finish with the part that matters most. One last warning. You can't unhear this. You'll spot these patterns everywhere now, in every relationship, every exchange, every institution. You'll see the performance under the smile. You'll watch loyalty evaporate the moment the terms change. You'll recognize the weaponized wound. You'll catch chemistry being mistaken for fate. You'll feel the power negotiation humming under the calm. You'll notice the narrative reaching for your beliefs. Some nights you'll wish you could go back to the soft, blind version of yourself. You can't. The patterns are too loud now. But you're also harder to reach than you were. You can't be played as easily through machinery you now recognize. You can't be gutted by a betrayal you never expected, because you stopped expecting forever. You won't torch your life on a few months of chemistry. You won't hand away power in your sleep. You won't swallow a managed belief whole. Machiavelli paid for writing this down: exile, poverty, and 5 centuries of his name being used as a synonym for evil, all for describing reality too accurately. His observations outlived him because they're true. You now hold knowledge that's been buried, twisted, and feared for 500 years. What it becomes, a weapon or a shield, is entirely on you. Use it to prey on people and you become the thing he's been falsely accused of teaching. Use it to protect yourself while treating others fairly and you become what he actually was, someone who saw the world without flinching and walked through it without becoming its casualty. The patterns won't change. Your eyes already have. Welcome to reality with the lights on. It's colder than the story you were told. It's also true.